welcome to Dynamic Core. I'm Fran, and I'm here today with a very special guest, my friend Jacqueline.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Jacqueline is a mom, and she's the co-owner of Doulas of PG County, and she herself is a postpartum doula. And I'd love for you to share with us why you're here with me today.
Yeah, I am a mom of two. I have a 6-year-old son who was born via C-section, and I have a 4-year-old daughter who was born VBAC, which is vaginal birth after cesarean. And once I heard about the symptoms of diastasis, I thought I might have that too. So then you showed me how to check myself and also check me for yourself. And I did have it. And as a postpartum doula, I hear a lot of my clients mention those symptoms, but don't know that it is a thing that is real and can be diagnosed and treated. So,
Well, I'm so glad that you're here today. And we're going to be doing some exercises that are safe for at any point after you've had a child. And I say at any point because oftentimes moms have had a child and then may not discover until multiple years later that they have a diastasis. And it's never too late to start to approach managing it and healing. So we're going to do some exercises, and we'll start by getting down onto the mat.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can come onto your hands and knees, and you're going to, we're going to begin with doing some mobilization, because oftentimes when somebody has diastasis, there's other areas of the body that are then starting to overwork and work and engage and support you when your abdominal muscles may not be engaging and fully supporting you. So starting with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. And then the first cue I just want for you to find is imagining that you're mooning somebody behind you. And it may make you laugh, but it actually gets you right into the postural position. Yeah, exactly, that you need to. So you can feel your right and left sitting bones are widening back behind you, and your tailbone is lifting a little bit towards the ceiling. Mm-hmm. Keep that pelvic position, and then just take a moment and feel your ribs right beneath your breast start to lift a little bit internally up away from the floor. So lift your ribs away from the floor, exactly. And you can feel how that's brought more length through your whole back. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start by immobilizing, by stepping then your right foot forward on the outside of your right hand. Great. And now you're going to circle your hips to the far back right corner of your mat, around and forward. You can take deep breaths as you move. And so this movement is helping to stretch and open up her glutes and hamstrings. Can you feel that stretch? Mm-hmm. Good. And as well, also opening up and mobilizing the deep pelvic floor muscles, starting to reverse the other direction now and circle around. Good. Taking a deep breath in and exhale out through your mouth. And so this movement is really key because a lot of times the hips can start to overwork when you haven't been fully supported within your abdomen. And then you can step the right foot in between your hands. And you're going to then lift your right hand up on top of your right thigh. And then your left hand up on top of your right thigh. And rise up to sit really tall on your torso. And now can you curl your pubic bone up towards your belly button, and you'll feel an elongation across your hip, your left hip. And just breathe here. Deep breath in and full exhale. So again, we're opening up the front of her hips, mobilizing here. Good. You're going to step your hands back down onto the floor. And now step your right foot all the way back down to the floor so you're resting on your knee. And now left leg steps forward on the outside of your hand, and you'll circle your hips to the far back left corner. Good. And sometimes we may have a little bit different amount of tension on one side versus the other. We're all asymmetrical, so it's really, you can understand that you can just have some compassion for yourself if it feels a little different balance on one side than the other. Good. Take a deep breath, reverse, go the other direction, circling your hips to the far back corner, opening up your pelvis. This is also important because sometimes people who've had diastasis may have some then instability in their pelvic floor. So they may have pelvic organ prolapse, or they might have some pelvic pain because they have too much tone in their pelvic floor. So starting to open up the muscles that support around the pelvis can both release tension and then enable you to engage more deeply in your abdomen. Step the left foot now in between your hands, and then lift your left hand up on top of your thigh, supporting yourself. Bring your right hand up on top of your thigh, and then rooting down through your right knee. Again, feel a curl of your pubic bone up towards your belly button, and you'll feel more elongation across that right hip. And just breathe into that stretch. Deep breath in, full exhale. One more time, deep breath in, and full exhale. And then you'll step your hands back down, and then you're going to lower your left knee down. And now we're going to position you onto your back. So you can go ahead and lay down so you rest on your side, and then you'll come onto your back. And start with your knees bent. And so now we're just going to first do a relaxation breath. So you can take a breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. As you breathe in through your nose, envision sending your breath down into your abdomen, into your low back and the sides of your waist. Again, as you breathe, you can envision your breath moving all the way down into your pelvic bowl, into the base of your pelvis. Sometimes the image I like to think of is if you had a sail of a sailboat at the base of your pelvis, that the breath is going to fill that sail, like the wind filling the sail of a sailboat, and actually feel some outward expansion down towards the base of your pelvis, between your pubic bone and tailbone. Again, breathe deep, full breath. So again, it's important to relax and release tension before then being able to more fully engage. If you are working from a shortened place, you can't actually access your full expression of strength. Okay, so now we're going to go into an engagement. So you're going to place your hands on your abdominals, one on the belly button and just above, and the other on the belly button and just below. And you want to feel that three-dimensional breath. So it's not just the belly rising, but also out to the sides and into your back. And now as you exhale out through your mouth, can you make an HA sound? And keep going until you wring all of the air out. Again, breathe in. And then as you exhale, make that HA sound. And breathe until there's no air left. You should feel a deep internal hugging sensation. Can you feel that? Good. Again, breathe in. And exhale, HA, as you exhale. And feel for your abdominal muscles hollowing away from your palms towards your spine. Good. Again, breathe in. And exhale, HA, feel a hollowing. And then towards the end, start to feel that your abdominal muscles are narrowing a little bit from right and left side. Good. Breathe in. And exhale, hollowing, narrowing. And we're going to add on the last element to this, breathing in and exhale, hollow, narrow, and then feel an internal lifting. It's almost like a zipping from pubic bone up towards belly button. Breathe in again and feeling this full engagement. This is called visceral sphere. So if you had a sphere of your viscera, you're hugging it inwards, narrowing around and internally lifting. Okay, so this is really key, and we're going to do that through all of the exercises you're doing today. So from now on, when you're taking your exhale, see if you can feel the hollowing, narrowing, and internal lift. And it might take a little practice to get it at first. If you don't feel the connection right away, just keep practicing, and it'll start to happen over time. Okay, bring both arms up to the ceiling. Inhale as you turn the palms to face each other, feeling external rotation. Stretch those arms up higher. Exhale, shoulders release down. Again, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, release your shoulders down. Now keep your shoulders down as you inhale. Both arms go slightly back overhead and pause. And exhale, reach the hands towards your knees and hold. Good. Now as you inhale and reach the arms back overhead, see if you can keep your ribs still. So it's just your arms moving. And then exhale, hands move towards your knees. Do that one more time. And let the arms move back. Good, keep the ribs still, and then exhale. Now you do that 2 more times and start to think of if you're moving through something really resistant or highly sticky. So you actually create some force, right? And then exhale and feel yourself pulling your arms forward towards your knees. Can you feel a little bit more abdominal activation? Good. Inhale, reach, and then exhale, you're hollowing, narrowing, internally lifting as you're starting to pull through some imaginary resistance. So you can keep going with this, and then a next stage would be to add on some resistance. So I'm going to hand Jacqueline a weight, and we'll see if you can keep that connection of the abdominals firing. You're going to hold the heads of the weight in your palms. You can just grab around it like that. Good. And if you feel like you can't keep that connection, you go back to just the imaginary resistance, okay? So keeping the ribs grounded as you inhale, reaching the arms back overhead, and then as you exhale, you pull the weight towards your knees and feel the hollowing, narrowing, internally lifting. 2 more times. Inhale as the arms reach. Can you keep this rib cage connecting towards your pelvis? Nice work. And then as you exhale, pull the arms and the weight towards your knees, hollowing, narrowing, internally lifting. You have 1 more. Inhale as the arms reach. And exhale as you hollow, narrow, internally lift. Fantastic. Then take the weight away, bring your arms down to the mat by your sides. Press your arms firmly into the floor. And now feel the way that you'd imaginary pressure that you'd been moving your arms through, feel that you're now creating that into the floor through the shoulder, tricep, forearm, and palm. Take a breath, and now as you exhale, push down into your feet, push down into your arms. You're feeling the hollowing, narrowing, internally lifting, and lift your pelvis into a pelvic bridge, lifting up. Pause. And then fold in your hips as you lower down. You're keeping everything in alignment. Drop your tailbone, lead your tailbone down. Good. Take a breath. And exhale, push into your arms, push into your feet, hollowing, narrowing, internally lifting. Pause. So one thing to be aware of is that a lot of people from pregnancy, their ribs were splayed open. You might lead with your ribs splaying up to the ceiling. So can you connect these ribs down towards the floor a little bit? Exhale here. Yes. And feel more of that connection of rib cage to your pelvis. Take an inhale and exhale as you lower down. Good. We have one more like that. Take a breath and exhale. Press into your arms. Hollow, narrow, internally lift, and then lower all the way down. So I'm asking Jacqueline to exhale on the way up and on the way down because it's helping you to engage a little bit more through the exhalation, the abdominal activation. There's one thing though that we're going to just do one more, which is that sometimes you're going up and you're exhaling as you're going up, and we're just going to play with what happens if you exhale, initiating it, and then continue the exhale and see if that helps you feel even more connection. So take a moment, breathe, exhale, hollow, narrow, internally lift, then push into the feet. And just see, can you feel a little bit more activation? I'm seeing you maintain their tone more. Good. And then take a breath. Initiate your exhale, hollow, narrow, internally lift, then lower. And see if that helps you maintain even more. Yeah. Good. Nice. Okay. Last one, take a breath. And exhale, hollow, narrow, internally lift, coming up. And now place your palms on tops of your thighs. Straight arms, push the palms down, press your pubic bone upwards. Feel the connection of your ribs to your pelvis, and then see if you can breathe in between your back and the floor. Good. Keep the abdominal activation. Exhale. Good. You should feel some fire developing in your belly. One more. Good. This time, arms lift up to the ceiling. Reach the arms just halfway back overhead. And now you're going to get to melt down. Massage your spine down onto the floor, vertebra by vertebra by vertebra. And then lower your arms all the way down. Fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to take this back up to your hands and knees. You can gently roll over to your side to transition and come to your hands and knees. And then we're going to basically do this similar movement, but now in this different relationship with gravity. So hands are right underneath the shoulders, and knees are right underneath each hip socket, so the legs don't have to stay together. Just step a little bit wider apart with the knees. Good. And find the position of mooning somebody behind you, and then feel the internal lift of the ribs right beneath your breasts. Pause here, keeping the spine and the bones of your body still. Take your breath. And then as you exhale, feel your hollowing, narrowing, internally lifting. So it's different, finding it in this relationship to gravity. Breathe in again, expand. And exhale, hollow, narrow, internally lift. One more time, inhale. And exhale, hollow, narrow, internally lift. Keep that connection. Keep that internal lifting as you now keep your hand and just slide one hand forward on the floor and then back down under your. Good. And then the other hand, slide it forward and slide it under. Good. And exhale, hollow, narrow, internally lift as you slide forward and back under, holding your center. And then left arm sliding forward and back under. As you continue, can you keep the shoulders level? Slide your arm forward and back under. And then slide your arm forward. Yes, they're doing really great now. And back under. If you want to add extra challenge, you can try lifting your arm up to shoulder height. Lift and then lower. And you'll feel the activation in your abdominals. Exhale, lift. Hollow, narrow, internally lift. Good. And lower. One more time each side. And exhale, lift. And lower. And last time, exhale, lift. And lower, and then we're going to just add the legs. Stay here, grounding in your shoulders, holding your center. As you exhale, lift your right heel and knee back up behind you towards the ceiling, lifting your knee, keeping your knee bent. Bend your knee. Good. And then lower your knee back down. And then you're going to the same side. Lift that leg again. Yep. See if you can hold center. Good. And lower down. And then now the opposite side. You're going to lift 2 times. And lower. Remember seeing if you could hollow, narrow, internally lift, then move. That's better. And lower. Now alternate sides. See if you can hold your pelvis in the middle. Push into your arms. Engage hollowing, narrowing, internally lifting. Good. Can you hold your pelvis and your spine in the middle? And exhale, hollow, narrow, internally lift as you lift your thigh up. Good. One more time on each side. And exhale, hollow, narrow, internally lift. See if you can hold your spine in the center. And last time. And exhale, hollow, narrow, internally lifting as you lift your leg back up and lower down. And just let yourself sit your hips to your heels. Let yourself then bow your forehead down onto the mat. You're going to sit all the way back. Bow your forehead down. Reach your arms forward and just take a deep breath in. Letting yourself relax again. Another deep full inhale and exhale. And then you can slowly walk your hands in towards you, rising up to sit. And just take a moment to put a hand on your heart and a hand on your low abdomen. Close your eyes and feel all that's been awakened and engaged within you. And just asking yourself from what you're feeling, what you want to carry forward and embody. And breathe that in. State in your mind, I am. Stating that which you want to embody. And now saying 3 thank yous silently within. Thank yourself. Thank your body. And thank your energy for supporting you. One more full breath in. I harness my strength. And you can allow your eyes to open, and I just invite for you to take in what you've received and how you feel. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.